Now, in just moments from now, Republican Senator Jeff Sessions is expected to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate as U.S. Attorney General. This comes after a fierce partisan showdown on the Senate floor last night over his nomination. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts was rebuked and silenced by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell as she read from statements by Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow, Coretta Scott King, and from statements by the late Senator Ted Kennedy, both of whom opposed Sessions for a federal judgeship in 1986. McConnell argued that Warren was violating Senate rules against denigrating a colleague. Take a listen.
This is what it said. They are mothers, daughters, sisters, fathers, sons, and brothers.
Mr. President.
They are.
Mr. President.
The Majority Leader.
The senators impugn the motives and conduct of our colleague from Alabama as warned by the chair. I call the senator to order under the provisions of Rule 19.
Mr. President, I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate. I ask leave of the Senate to continue my remarks.
The senator will take her seat.
Senator Warren did get to finish her remarks. She took to Facebook and streamed it to millions of viewers. CNN senior congressional reporter Manu Raju joins me now live from Capitol Hill. Manu, Senator Warren addressed the developments today, even as her colleagues read the same letter on the Senate floor today?
Yeah, that's right. And actually, Republicans did not object when their colleagues actually read that letter. But I had also a chance to talk to Senator Warren, who defended her decision to move forward with her arguments last night, even as she was warned repeatedly not to make those remarks. In particular, one line had infuriated Republicans, a line from Coretta Scott King's letter saying that Jeff Sessions, as a U.S. attorney, used his office to intimidate and frighten elderly black voters. I asked Warren specifically, do you think as Attorney General Sessions would also frighten and intimidate elderly black voters? And she said yes. And all this, Jake, is also renewing talk of her possibly being a candidate for 2020. I asked her about that as well. Take a listen. What do you say to some of your critics who think that you are doing this to help position yourself for a possible run in 2020?
I say I'm doing my job.
Is that something, though, you're open to right now, thinking about 2020?
I am open to doing my job, and that is to debate whether or not Jeff Sessions should be Attorney General of the United States. And that's why I wanted the opportunity to read Coretta Scott King's letter. It is a powerful letter. I urge everyone to go and read it.
And Jake, Warren also acknowledging that the votes are probably there, not just for Jeff Sessions tonight, but for other Trump nominees, but saying that she wants to make her points very clear on the floor, even if it means Republican attempts to silence her, Jake.
And Manu, beyond the controversy of what happened to Senator Elizabeth Warren last night, has the White House in any way addressed the substance of Coretta Scott King's criticism of Sessions from 1986?
Yeah, actually, Sean Spicer today at the press briefing was asked specifically about it, and he believes that King, if she were alive today, she would have a different view of Jeff Sessions. Here's what he said.
I can only hope that if she was still with us today, that after getting to know him and to see his record and his commitment to voting and civil rights, that she would share the same view that Senator Specter did, where he said, although I voted against him, getting to know the man that is now, I regret that vote. And I would hope that if she was still with us today, that she would share that sentiment.
And Jake, that last remark referring to the late Arlen Specter, who actually told me in 2009 that the one vote that he regretted through his entire career was voting against Jeff Sessions. And Republicans have been trying to make that case to Democrats since Sessions was nominated, but really falling on deaf ears, Jake. We're expecting only one Democratic senator to vote in favor of Jeff Sessions tonight. That's Joe Manchin of West Virginia, but still enough votes to get him confirmed to the post in just a couple of hours, Jake.
All right, Manu Raju, thank you so much.